Hi guys, it is Belle here and it is time for the final two tags of hashtag the Oddtober 25, hosted by the lovely April over at Pink Odd Bird and the wonderful Priscilla over at Release the Crafting. Links as always will be down below to both their channels, so check out the description box. I'm going to try and do both tags in this video because we're now in mid-November and I just need this challenge kind of done. I've loved it, I'm enjoying it, but there are other projects I need to work on as well. So it could be quite a long video, so grab any of your crafty things, grab a snack, and let's get making. So for day 30, the tag is, now that this is all over, I head back up and prep for some much needed rest. Finally in bed, these blankets feel amazing as I drift off into sleepland. So we're going to do a simple bedroom scene. And first thing I've got this cutout of a bed. Now, I don't know where I got it from. It was in my stash. So I want to kind of use this as my template for my bed. So we're going to trim this like so, but we're going to trim it just down the side first. And this is the first thing we're going to do, and then we're going to work on the background. These next two tags will be, I want to say more simple, but every time I say that, you guys say, Belle, that's not simple. So I don't know, but yeah, they're just going to be fun. So I have this piece of Tim Holtz, what's the word I'm looking for? Piece of Tim Holtz wallpaper. Sorry, I just touched you. And so I want to use that. It's already lovely and grunged. We're going to grunge it some more because, well, that's just how I roll. And we're going to cut this down to the size. I will be doing a separate video where I please tell me that is 3.5. Sometimes I cut it to 3, even though I don't mean to. Well, I'll be doing a separate video where I will do a flip through of all of these and show you where they're stored. So that's what I'm going to do. We want this way. Oh yes, it's so pretty. Now you know me. Are we going to leave it this pretty? No, that's not happening. So we need to ink this a little bit. Let's start doing that. Let's ink it a little bit. I use this piece here, and it can be thrown away. Let's get some gloves on because I need my gloves on. And then we're going to ink this up a little bit, and we're going to rip and tear it a little bit, and we're just going to grunge it up. Now, again, I've said this repeatedly, there's no way that I would sleep in a room that's going to end up being this grungy. And also, I question, it says you're going to go to sleep and the blankets are going to be, let's have the oxided walnut stain. The blankets are all soft. Who washed them? That's what I want to know. Because, like, this place has been full of ghosts and I ran and left it. So, I really do question if they're really that soft or if we should sleep in them. But, you know. I was meant to get these videos done last week. And I know some of you might have been going, where was the other videos last week? Just had a very busy week. Didn't get round to having time to film. Let's bring in the forest moss. I gave this a huge clean, this forest moss. So let's hope now it's actually going to be less of a problem. I say, as I then put some on the side. Really tighten that up. And I'm going to bring in some black soot. I need some more black soot. Come on. There we go. Now, these wallpapers always take a bit of a while to dry, so why am I doing it? That's what I hear you ask. I don't know. I could really start on the other tag. Well, we're not going to see most of that because that's the bed. What am I doing? Right, let's just spray this a little bit. Just a little bit. And then, before we even start drying, I'm just going to dab, because I don't want it to be too much. It's a lot more of the forest moss than I was expecting. That's interesting. I know, it looks a mess. There we go. Definitely don't need it down there. Okay, I am going to dry this. Okay, so that's basically dry. Let me get that up. Basically. In the background, I'm going to put this in the background. So I'm just going to glue this down. I'm trying to think where. I think realistically, we only need it in the top half. Because, yeah, I think that's all we need it. So let's do that. Okay. Perfect. Let's, where is my bone folder to just do that? Sorry if you can hear that. I have the window open and my neighbour's dogs are barking, which is fine. I'm just going to rip this off. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. That's what I need. I mean, I just can't believe, firstly, that it took me this long to finish, but I was busy in the last couple of months, amongst other issues. And secondly, I can't believe this could be the end. I still haven't asked Priscilla or April if they intend to do something else, but, you know. Right, let's ink up these whilst it's here. Now, it shouldn't actually matter, but again, I always say do it just in case, because you can't do it once you've already glued it all down together. You know, you can't do that. Right, now, what I want to do is I want to rip and tear parts of this. Now, this is normally where I wet it again. Get a piece of paper. Because sometimes it can be easier if you wet a piece to rip it. And you're like, why did you do that then, Belle? I don't know. Yeah, okay, guys. I don't even know if we're going to see it there, if I'm honest. But we can rip it anyway. Also, I actually want a proper rip here. I want it to actually rip open. Like so. Like that. So we're going to rip here. We're not going to see some of these rips, but that's okay. We don't want another rip. Maybe here. Depending where the bed is. Okay. And then I am going to ink these up because they're obviously very white. Then let's bring in the black. And let's spray this down again. It could be a little bit too much. And then we can get movement on this bit of the ink. We can move it around rather than have it all in one space. Okay. I think I need just a little bit of black soot on here. Yeah. Yeah, I do. And a little bit of walnut stain. Yeah. Then again, where is my dabbing one? Just come on and dab it a little bit. Okay, now I am going to dry that. Now what I want to do is I'm just going to glue around these edges. And the reason being, just the 3 edges, I think. The reason being, I'm going to stitch. And right now, I'll glue this side too. I need these bits open a little bit so that if I want to put something behind them, I can. Let's really push all of that down. Get that in the corners. And then trim these bits. So we're basically making a grungy bedroom. So let me go stitch. I'm going to stitch all these corners, but I'm also going to stitch across here as well. Not these, because these can be glued down with other bits, but I'm stitching everything else. Okay, so that is all stitched around. You can see that there, and you can see some of the book pages through here. The bed's going to go on about here. So yeah, that will be covered. I could move it over a little bit, but then we won't get the edge of that bed. Could move it down a little bit. Could do that. That would work to have it down. All right. And also I have one of these Tim Holtz pieces. Now this looks like my ancestor a little bit. That's what I thought. But so does this one. I mean, this does look like it. If I show you, in the original book, when I chose a vintage image, do you see that? Oh my gosh, this one really does look like her here. Just, come on, focus. Do you see that picture? And that? Okay, it might have to be this one. Okay, change my mind. And I want this on in the background. But I'm trying to work out if I want to trim any of it down so we just have the gold rather than the rest. I suppose we could have it at an angle, couldn't we? And then we'll still see bits. I still think I want to trim part of it. Okay, let's trim and have the gold. Because I feel like this would have been my ancestor's bedroom. So I'm staying, that needs to move. So yeah, I like that. Okay, that's going to be glued down. But I need to think about, before I glue that down, I need to put the thing back on my scissors. I need to think about if I want to put anything behind it. So I have some like spider's webs. I have some plants and things like that. And if I was going to put that behind, but we can have plants coming out of there. That would be about here. And then if I wanted a spider's web, could I put it behind the beds? Above, up here. I do often like it at the top. I do often like that. But we may be putting a tab on this, so realistically I might not see it there. So we could put it behind like that. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's not worry too much. Because I need the other tag to get done. I need the other tag to get done. And I'm wondering if I want some texture on this wall. It just feels a bit bland at at the moment. Just a bit bland. Okay. So let's bring in a little bit of texture. And you got it. I'm going to be using the texture stamps by Crafted by Tony, CBT0029. Use this. Let's bring it on in VersaFine. Let's do my favorite, my dot, my little dot. This just works for so many things, guys. We're going to see quite a bit of the painting there, so we don't really need this. Okay, so we have the dot, and I'm just wondering about anything else. Maybe, sorry, I'm just checking what I'm having a look at. Maybe the bigger dots. Let's try that. Oh yeah, I like that. It really does look like some sort of mess on a wall. Yeah, okay, I like that. And then we need to stick the photo down. Now, I think part of my problem with it is it looks too beautiful. Oh no, it's stuck onto the mat. Thank goodness this is a glass mat. So what I want to do is I want to come in with my sanding. And I just want to sand part of it because it just looks too perfect. Okay, let's see how that looks now. Do you see that? Yeah, that looks better. That does look a lot better. We just can't have it too perfect. I feel like the glass should look like it's a bit messy. And then what I think, I wasn't going to do this, but now I think I might, is I might actually put it on the wall slightly, just slightly raised. Not completely, but just slightly raised. That's what I think. Could have done them smaller, but don't mind that. Oh my goodness, I almost put those in the bin. So, doodaloo. Oh, okay, come on. Right, perfect. We just want it slightly raised. I do want it at an angle. Okay, okay. The bed's going to go about here. Perfect. So coming out, I want some stuff. Also had a couple of books that I was thinking of putting, maybe even have one on the bed, because I don't know about you, but I know I'm tired, but I still love to read at night. It's just a thing. I love to read. So we could have a little plant coming out. I'm having a look at what ones I like. I do kind of love that one because of the sparkles on it. Okay, let's trim these bits like so. And this is also mimicking something that's actually in the book from the first ever challenge, because I did wallpaper with plants and things coming out of it. So it's, I'm wondering if I should put it under here. Like so. Yeah, I like that. Want it to look like it's going underneath. Yep. Okay, that works well. And then over here we need one. I've got a bit of grey there. Just having a look at what I have. Oh, we've got some This is very grey too. I don't mind it being too grey. Let's just, this is some ivy. Oh, we do have one of these actually. Maybe we cut one of these. All right, I changed my mind. Who's surprised? None of you. Okay, we're going to do this one too. I'm going to cut it about here. And I'm going to cut these off. And then we're going to have that coming up as well. Now, I should be able to get that bit underneath as well. Oh, perfect. Love that. Okay, let's just glue these down. These need to be glued. So I can get that under there. And then that can have one going under it too. The funny thing is, I don't mind plants growing out of walls, but I draw the line at sleeping in a grungy, mouldy bedroom. Plants growing out of it, not a problem. Grungy bedroom, maybe not. I did have a moth as well. I kind of wanted to add a moth. I feel like that's too much. I know some of you like, Belle, that's never stopped you before. And you'd be right. It never has. Oh, yes. I'm going to have another flower. Why? Because I want to. And I know, again, I can hear some of you going, you covered it with inks and stamping, and now you've basically covered it with stuff. I know, guys. I know. Oh, yes. I love it. I actually love it. Right, that needs to go there. So these are our plants, and some of it has shimmer on. I'm hoping that's picking up. I really can't tell in this light if it is or not. In real life, this is shining so bright red. It is unbelievable. But we're going to add splatters because how can we not? Okay, I have different things that I'm going to add. So let's start on the bed now. So I have some fabric. This is actually some Tim Holtz fabric, and I thought this looked really good. And I think it picks up the colours that I've been using. I feel like this side might work best. Yeah, this side. Right, now we've got a pillowcase here. So I'm going to fold this bit of fabric to kind of work here. Yeah, that's going to work. And I basically, I'm going to try, I know, but I'm going to try and cut it. What I should be using are my fabric scissors. Am I? Well, you can see that I'm not. I just cut it down this bit. I'm going to cut it a bit wider than I need to on this side because I suddenly realised I wasn't, and I might need to trim. So, but it was only right with the amount of Tim Holtz that I have used to also use some Tim Holtz fabric here. Right, so that needs to be cut like so. Someone sent me this Tim Holtz fabric and I've really enjoyed using it in projects, and this I think is the second project I would have used it on for just me, which I never do, but I told myself I was going to because it's so hard to get hold of over here that I wanted to treat myself to a piece. Okay, that is going to be the bed. Actually have it more like that. That'll work. Yeah. And then what I need to do is there is actually like a bend in the bed here. Like so. Now I know none of this makes sense right now, but it will do. I need to trim that bit. So what I'm going to do is well, first thing I want to do is stitch that. That needs to go there, but it needs to come up a bit. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to stitch along this bit here and here. Okay, so I've stitched that on. Now I need to fold this here. Reason being, I need it flat. That is the edge of the bed, and I actually want it to be the edge of the bed. So, do you know what? Let's get my fabric scissors. That would really make this a lot easier. Right. I'm going to cut here. All the way to there. Perfect. That's now the edge of the bed, which will be stitched. And then I need to think about, this is the very end of the bed. So again, I'm just going to kind of put a crease in that and then cut that too. Oh, perfect. Now what I want to do is I want to stitch along this bit, because I want it to look like this is the top of the bed and this is the bit hanging down. Does that make sense? So I am going to go and stitch again. I'm going to put a line in here, and I am going to go and stitch along this line. Okay guys, so you can see what I've done. I haven't stitched this bit because this is the end, and I haven't stitched this bit because you're meant to have more of the blanket. So I've stitched along there, so this now looks like the top bit, and this is the bits hanging down. I've frayed part of it. It would have been good to ruffle it, but that's just too much. So I stitched instead to make it look like a pattern on the bed, and then that will fit on the bed. This is too much white all the way around this. I don't mind leaving a little bit, but that is too much. That will fit onto here and represent our bed that's cozy. But I hear you say, Belle, where's the pillow? Surely that's not a cozy pillow. Well, guys, I'm going to do the pillow now. So this will go on here like so as our bed. And I hate to say it, but I feel like this could do with some black soot. Once we splatter anyway, that's gonna look a certain way. So for our pillow, I have this. Is it this one? No, I thought I had a different one. Hold on. Yep, I do. I have this one. I have this fun fabric, and I also thought it might bring it in as part of the tab. And because it frays at the edge, it reminds me of a pillow in that way. So I'm going to just cut this, and I could put a bit of foam or something behind this. Let's see how big it has to be first. If I'd wanted to, I could put a little bit of foam, but I'm not going to, I've decided. But you could. I think I made a bed for another challenge like this. I can't remember when. It's probably in one of my October dailies. Okay, and we're going to trim it to about here, because then I want to fray this edge to make it look more like a pillow. Ah, I mean, it's quite a big pillow, isn't it? So if I fray a bit more and then trim here, and fray a bit more and then trim there. I think it needs to be even a bit smaller. Sorry, this is just trial and error. This is because I need it to look the way I want it to. Oh my gosh, stuff everywhere. Okay. Still a little bit more, I think. Literally bit by bit. I'm cutting it off to the edge, so I'm sorry if you guys can't see. There's literally stuff going everywhere. Okay, that will work for the pillow. Perfect. Do I want to stitch the pillow? That's what I need to ask myself. I think I am going to stitch the pillow as well. Okay, so there's threads everywhere, but I really don't mind. Okay, then. This is going to go on like this, and we can trim part of the bottom bit off. What do we think? Do we like it? Do we not like it? Well, it doesn't really matter because that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to stitch the top bit. I could make this pop off a little bit as well, actually. I could bring it off the bit just to make it look even more three-dimensional. So we're going to do that. So let me just put all these on. Okay, so I've put loads of 3D foam on. Now I really need to make sure that this is where I want it before coming on and just trimming that off like so. I mean, hopefully it still looks like a bed. That's what I'm hoping. I mean, it's got the head and the pillow and stuff, so does it? I don't know, guys. Okay, and then the last thing I wanted on here, where's it gone to? So I've got the silence of, I want that bit, and then a good night's work. I want this bit. So the silence of a good night's work, because obviously we have freed the spirits, and we have turned off the machine, and put the silence of there. Good night's work. Kind of like it here, so it's going to go here. Right, that all needs to glue down. That's what needs to happen there. So we've gone to bed feeling good because we've done a good thing. We've solved the problems. And then we can have this along here. Yep. Let's glue that. Science of a good night's work. Now, there's no spider yet, is there? Got to add a spider, guys. Okay, so I like that there. And I'm also going to bring in my pencil, I think, and go around those. Now, where is a spider? Hello, Mr. Spider. There you are. And what I'm thinking is it might pop out from under the bed. Oh dear, I know there's some of you out there going, oh my gosh, no. But this is where I think it would look the best, coming out from under the bed. But then thinking about it, I don't know. It actually works there too, doesn't it? It actually works there. It really works there. Okay, so I wanted it under the bed, but I've changed my mind. Again, none of you are surprised. Let's not pretend. Okay, this table is so messy. And I was still thinking of putting a book on here because there's no way, not even if it's quite a huge book though, compared to the rest. This one looks a bit smaller. I'm definitely still going to be having a book to go to sleep with because it's me. Yeah, I just feel like it's too, I want to say not enough happening. Do have a little butterfly too. Sorry. I'm just looking, guys. Oh yeah, we're going to add a little butterfly. Have we added one anywhere else? No. Do I like it on there? Yes, that's all that matters. And I think I am going to add the book, because how can I not? Right, let's just rough this book up a little bit. I mean, I've probably grabbed it and thought, oh, well, I need to read to just calm down from all the events of the day. And I've probably opened it, got one page read, and then gone, boom, straight to sleep. I mean, that never happens in real life. But I could see it happening on this moment. So, we're going to have gone to sleep with a book that's now falling off the bed because I'm asleep. That pillow is what's bothering me. It's too bright. Okay, just coming in with my ink pad. Okay, so we have that, and I'm going to add some splatters. So let me clear all this up and get those out. So before I do the splattering, I actually thought I would come on with some crypt paste. I still feel like there's not enough dimension in these pieces. Oh, and I've just realised what else I said I was going to do. So let's do that first. Did you guys remember, even though I didn't? I was going to use my Stabilo pencil and just come on around some edges here of these things, because I like doing that. I'm going to need the Stabilo for the next one too, just on here. It's going to be a bit harder on here because it's on so many layers and I don't want to cover the words up. And I think I'm going to add a little bit of shading just under the bed too, just a little bit. I know it seems like a lot right now, but I think, as I've showed you before, with Stabilo, however you pronounce them, you come on with a little paintbrush, a little bit of water, and you can lighten that up. It doesn't have to stay as dark as it is. Yep. Okay, let's come on with these as well. Being very careful not to get it on the words as much. Just adding it in places. Very carefully there. Carefully there. Like so, just in some places, kind of in between, if I've got some still on there. Okay, better. And now I'm going to come on with the crypt paste, just again, just in some places. It's quite a lot there, I didn't need that much. I'm just adding texture because I really do feel like there's not enough texture on this. You guys might completely disagree with me, but there we go. Got a little bit there, maybe bringing a little bit down here as well. Again, if you've seen me use it, it looks very grey now, but when it dries, it goes a kind of almost translucent, kind of greenish, so it picks up colours and inks from underneath as well. Actually, while I'm at it, well, I'll show you those when I've finished it, but I actually added some to the tags that I did the other day as well. I actually added some on there. Okay, and then let's come on, because that's not enough. Let's come on with, I think I want some gold on this one, you know. I think I want to just bring in a little bit of something onto there, and a tiny bit of black, maybe. Where's the black? There's the black. So let's do the gold first, and then we'll come on with the black. Okay, and while I'm at it, whilst I remember, I'm going to cover up these. I'm going to cover up that. And we're just gently going to cover up her face, but the rest of it's fine. Okay then, let's get my splatter brush. Let's stir this around because again, this gold is a bit clumpy. Okay. So I'm just coming, oh dear. Sorry, it flew so far, it actually went on my glasses. Okay. It's going all over this hand. I was trying to lift the book up thinking it was a piece of paper. Honestly. Oh dear me. Okay, and then we're going to come on with the black. I actually saw when I was at the Christmas market the other day, there was an art shop in that little town. And they had one of these Winsor Newtons, but it was this big in black. And because of early Black Friday deals, it was £20. Now, these are normally between £6 and £8, just a tiny one. So one that's like almost 100 times bigger than that for £20, you know, I should have picked it up. I mean, my son's there, so he could actually go in and pick it up for me. A bit more black, that's too much. Okay. All right then, I don't mind it on the picture frame, but I didn't want it on the bed quite so big. So let's come on with just a little dot. Okay, now I'm going to dry that off. Okay guys, so here we are. Do you see the sparkle? I love the way this ink's gone on here. It makes me think of an ink splodge, and considering she did writing and things. Yep, I think it definitely still needs a tab, but I need to let things dry first. But here we go. I don't know. Does it look like a bedroom? So now that this is all over, I head back up and prep for some much needed rest. Finally in bed. These blankets feel amazing as I drift off into sleepland. Come on, hands up. Who would, if Tim Holtz had brought out like a bedroom duvet? You could make your own if you bought a lot of his fabric, but I'm just saying, who wouldn't buy it? Because I certainly would, depending what it was. But yes, especially some of his lovely naturey Halloweeny stuff. So what do you think, guys? Does it look like a bedroom? The bed's very grungy now and at an angle. I don't know. But that's that one. And now, guys, I'm going to clean this up and we're going to get onto the next tag. The final tag. Okay, so the final prompt for the October 25 is 31. Back in the other room, the time machine whirs to life. Flickering lights read, Happy Halloween! Okay, so as is the other room with the machine, I mean, I think it means I don't know if it means Zoltar or the time machine. I'm going with time machine. Obviously, I've made this card twice so far, and we're about to adapt it a third time. So this was day 16, 17, and then I made it again. So, but it works for what I need it to work for. And that is really all that matters. So, dun, 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 dun. I've already distressed some of this same paper from here. I've used my sander on it. I've come on with texture and all of that good stuff. We're going to have it down here like so. And we're just going to glue this right onto here. So yes, I think one of you, I can't remember what video it was, I still need to reply to, but I think I read that one of you said that because I am linking so many of these pieces, especially even to the earlier challenges, that one of the prompts in here was time loop, for which I did a waterfall card. But one of you said my whole challenge is kind of like a time loop because of the way I link things. I thought that was a brilliant kind of observation and truth. So yeah, kind of is like a whole time loop. Now I need to come on, and it's going to say Happy Halloween, so I need to kind of very roughly mark out where this needs to go. If it comes over, I suppose it doesn't matter too much, but I need to kind of mark it out. I still need part of this card left. So let's get hold on. Okay, I needed my mat. So we're going to do this. I need to leave a little bit on the edge. Cut this bit out. Like so. Ooh. Oh no! What happened there? Hold on. Did I break it? Doesn't look like it's broken. It's supposed to just spin 12 right on. Okay, right. Well, I don't know what's happened there. So I'm going to put that to one side and go buy myself a new craft knife. Oh, that's a bit annoying because I really need to cut this out. Okay, all right. Craft knife is the one thing I do not have another one of. So I'm going to do it this way then. I'm going to poke a hole. I'm going to cut down to here. Interesting. I mean, that's quite an old craft knife, but still, how random. I'm going to go to there now. I'm going to have to be so careful because I do need the edge of the card to remain as the edge. Okay. Woohoo! And that's kind of going to come out anyway. Well, these things are sent to challenge us, but that's okay, because it just shows you guys if you don't have craft knives or don't like using them, because I have to admit it has taken me probably 20 years to enjoy using a craft knife. That's how long I always preferred scissors. But this past year, I would say I've really been okay with craft knives. So let's get some inks in here. Let's get some black soot. Go around these edges. Happy Halloween. So what does that mean, guys? It's turned back on. Does that mean I'm now trapped in the time loop? Never able to escape? Just trapped? And who am I going to send it to? Who's going to free me? No, my ancestor and the carnival man and the witch in the woods, they're all free. But I'm going to be trapped in this disgusting, mouldy, grungy house until someone saves me. Anyway, there we go. Let's move this now because we don't need it. Okay, I have some of this. I should have seen if that's actually big enough. This is just some vellum that I have used some Brusho crystals on, and I happen to have some white ones. White? What is wrong with me today? Red. There's some red. You can see I was cutting leaves out of this. which looked really good. Do I have any of the leaves? I thought I kept them nearby. Yeah, I do. So yeah, I was cutting some leaves out of the vellum with the Brusho crystals. Okay then, I kind of want this to go behind here, because when I get it, there's going to be a light that's going to go behind there, because it says they light up. And I've just realised how very, very, very little space I've given myself. Oh, I tell you, it's just going to be one of those makes. The other one went okay. This one has decided it wants to play up. I see you. I see you, card 31. You're playing your Halloween jokes on me. It's not Halloween anymore. Okay. Let's do this. Now this is going to take some time to really stick down, but it will stick. It will stick. It's just going to need time. I would say I'd come on and stitch it, but I think like it's too near edges for me to do that. Okay, now guys, now I pre-made some bits again. So the first thing I want to do is I want to put some, what's the word, glow in the dark on this particular thing, because I haven't done that yet. So I want glow in the dark embossing powder on the Happy Halloween. So not only will it light up on, sorry, I froze them for a minute. Not only will it light up when I put the light behind it, but it will light up even in the dark when the light's not on, because of this. Okay, so let me heat emboss this. Okay, so that now will light up, and I am going to put this on here. Yeah, I need a light. I need like one of those little balloon lights like I used on the other one. But I don't have another one yet. By the time these are all complete and I show you them in their entirety, there will be lights. That sounds like that AC/DC song. Let there be light. And there was light. Right. Happy Halloween. I wonder if I have the torch still and whether that will do anything right now. Do you see? So it will light up with the lights. Okay then, let's get to crafting. Dun, 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 dun. So I have this because this lights up. You will see that this has moved from the other two tags because I feel like it's moving. We have the light, which the middle of this lights up and it's got crackle glaze on it. So I wanted the light brought in with this piece. So we're not going to do the whole thing again. We're just bringing in certain elements of it. And again, I know you've seen parts of these on the other tags, but this is how my brain works. So yeah. So hopefully you're not bored, but that's just how my brain works. We have to add some rust on here again. We're right near the edge for this one. So we don't need to, I actually think that needed to be moved over, but we're not going to worry too much. I'm going to have a quick look. I've got my tag up here, roughly what things are and where they can go, the bits that I'm going to need. So I need this over here. Yep. Like so. Because the machine is whirring back to life. It's alive. That reminds me, I watched the new Frankenstein. What's his name? Guillermo del Toro. On Netflix. Oh my goodness, guys. I'm just going to say it. I loved it. I really did. I loved it. I'm not sure if everyone will, but I did. I loved it. There were certain bits where they really diverted from the original novel, the Mary Shelley novel, which I don't know. I preferred, actually, this is going to be controversial possibly. I think I actually preferred this Elizabeth to the Elizabeth in Mary Shelley's book. I felt like the Elizabeth in this Frankenstein sort of represented humanity and conscious morality. She almost represents the reader of how we should feel about the book. So loved that. Loved the actor who played Frankenstein's creature. I mean, and the guy who played Victor, to be honest. But the creature, oh my goodness. My only thing with it, go with me, my only thing with it was that it really put me in mind of, is it Vision from Marvel? Yeah, it really reminded me of Vision from Marvel. So that was a bit peculiar. But saying that, oh my goodness, guys, I think he played it amazingly. I think it was probably a little bit more destructive than the Frankenstein in the creature in the book. But there we go. But I thought he played it amazingly. And I thought, well, the way it was filmed artistically, oh my gosh, guys, that is my vibe to a T. Actually, when I was watching it, I was sitting there thinking, do you know what? This is what I'm trying to create. When I do my projects, this is the vibe I'm going for. Like the nature, grunge, gothic, distressed look. That is what I'm going for in my makes. I am nowhere near the brilliance of Del Toro, but that is exactly what I'm trying to create when I'm creating things like this, is that vibe and that nature aspect, the flowers, the moss, all that kind of stuff is what I like to bring in to my gothic makes. So I just thought it was brilliant. It was fantastic. Oh my gosh. I did feel that it overlooked certain parts of the creature's journey. I understand why it did. I mean, otherwise it would be super long. But I would have liked to see more of the creature's journey and discovery. There was one bit I really, really did not like. But that's just personal preference. And it is quite gory. And I don't tend to do gore. But I didn't find it too bad. It didn't like bother me too much considering. So yeah, that wasn't too bad for me. But I know when my daughter watched it, she messaged me and she was like, it was quite gory, Mum. But I think it was done in such a way that kind of, I don't know, I want to say fits the style. I don't know if that's really what I mean, but something like that. Thinking of bringing in a pumpkin because it does say Happy Halloween. I don't want to bring in a pumpkin. So we don't need to do too much more of the actual machine is the word I'm looking for. So yeah, wow, guys. Loved it. Thought it was great. Let me know down below if you have watched it, what you thought. Yeah, I just thought it was fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed it, if you can enjoy such a thing. But I did, I enjoyed it. And we watched it, sort of me, my son, my partner all watched it together. And yeah, they really enjoyed it too. So I recommend. And I could hear, like, they have taken, I'm sure they have taken quotes straight out of Frankenstein, because there's just Mary Shelley's writing is quite distinctive. And so yeah, I'm sure they took some straight out of there, and I could tell when that happened. But yeah, and they did the bit in the Arctic. And if you watched, I mean, you're supposed to finish up in, like, the Arctic is part of it. But if you had watched my, one of my Marguerite Millers, I had said that I had gone to a talk at the local Maritime Museum, well, at the Greenwich Maritime Museum, where they discussed Mary Shelley using the Arctic in Frankenstein, the novel, and why she did that, what that represented. So I thought that was brilliantly done too. Oh my goodness me. I had put off watching it for a little while because after my daughter had told me it was gory and I knew it was going to be quite dark, I just wanted to be feel up to watching that. But when I say that I just thought it was honestly fantastic, like, yeah, it was good. It was very, very good, guys. So if you haven't watched it and it sounds like something you do want to watch, or if you've been meaning to watch it but just not got round to it just yet, I almost want to put that on there, even though it's not. Maybe at the top. At the top it might work. Okay, I could even turn it so it looks like 06. Right. Yeah, if you've put off watching it, I highly recommend that you watch it. So, on one of these, where does it say? It says the end. So I want that. And I thought I had a little piece of black card somewhere. Where's the little piece of black card? I mean, we could use this. It's too similar. I need some black card. Okay, let's grab this piece. Yeah, I highly recommend watching it. And let me know, if you have watched it, what did you think? I really, really did enjoy it. So, yeah. I said to my son, he's never seen the Kenneth Branagh version of it. Said he's definitely got to watch that as well. Right, now this says the end, but what I'm going to put is, if I can find my pen, I'm going to put a question mark, because I don't know if it's the end. I mean, the machine's working again, so who knows? And then we're going to put a little bit of something behind it. I need something. So, yeah, beautifully shot, beautifully done. Just well done all round on that. Now, I know this isn't Frankenstein, but it's, you know, I love Frankenstein, so I'm going to put this on here. And honestly, when I am creating any kind of gothic, sort of grungy, spooky kind of thing, project, that is what I am going for, that aesthetic. I am nowhere near that aesthetic. I mean, I'm just not. But that is what I am going for. It just perfectly is how I feel about this kind of craft. I mean, honestly, it's just perfectly what I think. Bring in the pen. I'm going to go kind of around it a little bit, but only a little bit, because we've got the question mark too. The end. Oh, that needs to stick on there. And then we've got to come in. So I'm going to do this off camera because you've seen me do it. But I'm going to use the embossing powder in vintage, embossing glaze in vintage photo. Yep. Vintage photo. Yep. And I'm going to go on all these little black edges. And I'm going to put some in other corners as well. Okay, guys. So I added not only embossing. Let me bring that up so you can see the sort of the rust effect on different parts of the tag, but I also came in once again with my Stabilo pencil and some water and just went around different bits to try and make it look a bit more layered, dimensional. I'm just coming in with my ground espresso over the end because that just felt too white on there as well. I really need some here, like so. And I don't know if it needs anything else. I think I quite like it as is. It definitely needs something across the top, but I don't know what yet. So I guess you'll find that out when I find that out. But what do we think? So happy Halloween. The end? Or is it? Dun, dun, dun. Where's the other tag? So days 30 and 31. Let's go over them again. Now this is all over, I head back up and prepare for some much needed rest. Finally in bed. These blankets feel amazing. And I drift off into sleepland. Back in the other room, the time machine whirs to lights, and flickering lights read, Happy Halloween. Dun, dun, dun. Anyway, I love this challenge, guys. I do feel like they need toppers, but that's okay. Not everything has a topper and some things do. But I think all I have to do now is, I think there's a few finishing touches to do on some of them and wait for some grit paste and things to dry. And then, guys, then you're going to be able to see all of the tags and the story, not the whole story, this year's set of prompts, the story, this year's part of the story in its entirety. I'll show you where I'm keeping them and you'll be able to see any extra bits that I have added. Oh, I need to put some glow in the dark in this eye, and there's no spider. Did I hear you say there's no spider? We definitely need a spider somewhere. So I will have to think about where to add one, because I have one like here. Let me just pop this out. But yeah, you'll be able to see that. Might be nice to put one just by the Happy Halloween there. I could trim it a little bit so it comes down. Or even on that side. That's quite good because we've got the light bulb and everything there. Oh yeah, we're going to add the spider there. So yeah, you'll be able to see all those. I'll try and remember if I've added any bits, or if not, it'll just be the finished piece. And if I've added some, I've added some. Yeah, like that there. Glow in the dark pieces, which will be fun. And I will try and show you with each piece how it looks glowing in the dark. So I know we've seen that with some of them, but not with others. So that's it, guys. It's finished. I am sad, but please, like I said, please don't miss where I'm going to show you all the tags all together and tell you the story again, show you how they kind of look and all of that. But that will be it for now. Hold on. Sorry, there's some random beeping. How very rude. So that's it for now, guys. But This has been such a fun month. So I really appreciate all of you who have followed along and commented or just watched or given likes. And yeah, in a few days, you're going to be able to watch that other video of everything together. Really hope that you like these 2 tags, guys. Let me know what you think down below. And it's over. Or is it? Until next time, guys, I hope you're still having lots and lots of creepy, crafty, grungy fun. Bye for now.